In today's video, we will seek to answer the question, are you an aggressive listener? And does the way you listen offend or even push people away? Effective listening is a critical aspect of communication, but an aggressive listener takes things to another level. Before I begin, please make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and let's get started. In today's video, we will explore 4 of the top bad listening habits and how that directly impacts a person's ability to communicate. Remember, listening requires both speaking and listening. So these types of listening strategies impact your ability to process and communicate effectively. The first type of bad listening is aggressive listening. Aggressive listening, also referred to as ambushing, is a bad listening practice in which people pay attention in order to attack something that a speaker says. Listening is a complex process that consists of being mindful, hearing, selecting, and organizing information. It also requires interpreting, communication, responding, and remembering. It's hard to remember and process the entire conversation if you're only listening for a point to latch onto and attack. Examples of ambush or aggressive listening are usually seen in politics, but it's also common in the workplace. It's most commonly seen when a person listens to a person's ideas only to use ambushing to put down the ideas of others, and as a way to present their ideas without waiting for their turn to speak. When somebody displays ambushing behavior, they become agitated because they hear an opinion or fact that differs from what they believe is correct. Thus, they almost immediately want to interrupt the speaker to let them know exactly what they think or to correct them. The next type of poor listening is narcissistic listening. Our narcissistic listening approach is a self-centered approach to listening where the listener redirects the conversation to his or her own interests. For example, Jody acts bored while Tiffany is describing her promotion at work, interrupting Jody and switching the topic to her own recent purchase. In this example, we see that Jody's narcissistic listening is self-centered and self-absorbed, listening in which she made interaction about them by interrupting, changing the subject, or drawing attention away from Tiffany. In order to better address this issue and show a sense of active listening, Jody should have first listened to her friend and then acknowledge and then join in the friend celebration. You want to make sure that you're pausing and taking the time to really engage your friend and listening to what they had to say. And then in a natural break in the conversation, Jody could have transitioned into talking about her purchase. The next style of bad listening is pseudo-listening. Pseudo-listening is an approach to listening where using feedback behaviors to give a false sense impression that you are listening. Pseudo-listening is a type of non-listening that consists of appearing attentive in a conversation while actually ignoring or partially listening to the speaker. A common example of pseudo-listening is trying to multitask by talking on the phone while watching television or completing work. Another example of pseudo-listening is if your colleague is giving you important project details on a Zoom call while you nod and smile while simultaneously sending emails to your boss about something irrelevant. You're basically creating an environment with pseudo-listening where you're showing and displaying through your pragmatics that you are not listening. It's giving a false impression that will always come out and look disingenuous. The last style of poor listening is selective listening. Selective listening is listening only to hear what you want to hear. Selective hearing often extends to tuning out information or opinions that don't align with that person. The problem with this approach is that selective listening can create misunderstandings when one person hears different parts of the conversation and then ignores the others. If you only hear certain details needed to work towards major projects, tasks, action items, or goals, we're bound to get stuck. In the future video, we will explore more effective and ineffective communication habits that will directly impact your performance and your leadership and or working style. Please make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and thanks for watching.